starting with Fabio Vieira, the Mirror has reported that Liverpool got first refusal on the Porto midfielder for 12.7 million, which is his release clause. Since then, there has been conflicting reports which have suggested this clause does not exist and it's actually 42.3 million. Do you think that that's a good price, 42.3 million for Fabio Vieira? Have you seen enough of him, Jay, to suggest you'd pay that? Or was the 12.7 million probably the best you'd probably pay for someone like him?
I've seen bits of him. I haven't seen lots of them. We've been linked with them for a few years, though. I think it's our time last year, the rumour, but the year before, I think we were linked with them quite a bit. I think 40 is a bit high for him. He's not the star player at Porto. We got Diaz for, I know we can rise to 60 odds, but it was 37 initially. So I don't think they can bang about 40 odd million for a kid that obviously isn't at the same level as Diaz. So I think if we are going to go for him, that'd be a good starting point to negotiate with, to say, look, we took your best player for 37. This kid isn't that level, so we wouldn't be paying that amount for him.
Yeah, Damon, he scored 6 goals, 11 assists in 27 games for Porto this year. Obviously, they have played against us. What would you make of him? Do you agree with Jay, or would you be prepared to pay this non-existent release clause? So it's going to be about 42, 43 million.
I think he's a tidy player, but 40 million is a bit extreme. I think because we pulled the pants down with Diaz, I think they might want a bit more money back because he's been unbelievable, hasn't he, since January. So, would I pay 40 million? If it meant him and Diaz were 77 together, then probably. But 40 million on his own, then no, because I think there's better players out there for 40 million.
But have we had the pants down really, Jay, with Luis Diaz? Like, they knew he was a special player. He was their highest goal scorer. And obviously, Liverpool, when you play with better players, you're a better player yourself. And that's just, everyone knows that. So do you think that that would factor into any deal with Porto, that they would think, well, Luis Diaz is now probably £100 million player, we could have charged you that?
I think it does happen with teams sometimes that if they sell a player and they've done really well, if the same club comes back for another player, you're sort of trying to make up for what you think you could have got eventually for the first player you've sold. I actually think Diaz is probably a better player for us than he already was for Porto. There's just something about the way we play that just suits the lad to a T. Don't get me wrong, obviously he was impressive at Porto, but I don't know, the way I watched him a few times at Porto and he never stuck out to me. Whereas at Liverpool now, nearly every game you're thinking he's the standout player. So yeah, I imagine they will want to recoup a bit of money. I don't think we've had the pants down as such, because it can go up, I think, to 65 million or something like that, which, I mean, to be fair, he does seem like he's worth more than that the way he's playing at the minute, but I wouldn't say that's an have your pants down deal, 60 mil. We only spent 30 on Salah, we spent 30 on Mane, so probably fair if we pay the full whack.
Damon, he only played twice in the Champions League this year and got 1 assist. Obviously, he is only 21, 22 on the 30th of May. Do you think this is Julian Ward picking up where Michael Edwards is leaving off in terms of getting first refusals on exciting players coming through from the likes of Porto and places like that?
Well, I think he could have been a Michael Edwards player as well, because, like you said, we've been linked with him for 4 years now, so we've been following him for quite a while. Getting first refusal is perfect, because at the end of the day, if you get your business done early, no one else can come in for him. The reason why I've just been speaking to a Man United fan about the Frankie de Jong situation. If you made the move early and got it done early, Man City won't be able to come in. And that's what you need to be doing these days, because you've got pre-season to train for. You've got, especially Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp pre-season is as hard as it comes. So you need to be fit for that season starting in August again. It starts a bit early this year, doesn't it, as well, because of World Cup. Yeah. So we need to get the business done. So, but it's hard with Fabio Vieira because he's only 21, and like you said, he hasn't played enough in the Champions League to really experience that sort of high quality games. But I trust our scouts more than anyone.
Do you reckon this, Jay, could be someone Liverpool are maybe looking at his stats and maybe trying to mould him into a right winger, as more or less a a Salah replacement because he has got pace behind him. I'm not saying Salah's going to leave. I just mean one for the future in that aspect.
Potentially, yeah. I think he's just trying to add creativity, because that's sometimes where we struggle when teams play a low block. We've only really got Thiago that can unlock you with that pass, unless it's a bit of magic from one of the front three. And Carvalho falls in that bracket as well. You know, players who can just make a little bit of skill, little magic pass, see something that other players don't see. So I think Klopp likes players who are versatile, and if you look at most of the players we've signed, Jota, Mane, Salah go through the middle sometimes, obviously, they can all switch about a little bit. So I think that's the type of player Klopp likes, a bit of versatility.
Damon, I'll put this one on you. He is left-footed. We have strengthened the left side quite heavily in the past few windows with Jota and Diaz, etc. Could you think that Fabio Vieira to Liverpool is a realistic signing? Can you see it happening?
Well, Salah's left-footed, so like Jay said, it could be looking to a Salah replacement rather than anywhere else on the pitch. But he could play any position, like Jay said again. That's what we need. We need players that can play any position. That's why we're signing players like Jota and things like that. They can play up front, they can play at left wing. It's perfect. They suit Klopp down to the ground, those sort of players. So I wouldn't argue against it.
Like Adam says there, we have just signed Carvalho from Fulham, like you mentioned, Jay, as well. So would you say that we are potentially looking at Vieira if we've already signed someone who's regarded as a wonder kid and Portuguese in that position?
When I seen the report, to be honest, I was a bit surprised. When I seen it was 12 million, I thought, well, yeah, no brainer, young kid, looks a prospect. That's signed. He might not even play straight away and get a loan. But then when I seen the conflicting report about no, the release clause was 40 mil, I thought it was a bit of a non-starter, to be honest, because I don't think where he plays is where we need to strengthen most. I think central midfield is. And like he's just said, we have signed Carvalho, who is a very similar player, to be fair. And Harvey Elliott still trying to emerge through, and Curtis Jones. They're all sort of similar creative midfielders. And I don't think that's properly what we need compared to other areas of the pitch.